Hello and welcome back to the series with no name. I don't know what to call this. I don't know. You guys figure it out. In this unnamed series, I watch a movie that I think is really cool and just point out all the cool stuff without having to worry about, writing a script and going deep into character stuff because that stuff bores me.
I love mindless action with no plot points.
By the way, both my Iron Man videos actually ended up doing half decent, so I just want to say I appreciate it, guys. I do see your nice comments. They're very much appreciated, and I will try to keep up the good work for you guys. Today, we're continuing the trend with going through Phase 1 of Marvel. We already hit Iron Man 1 and 2, and today, we're going to hit Thor. Real quick, I forgot, The Incredible Hulk is part of Phase 1. I'm not going to watch that. Actually, fun fact, I've never watched it, so I can't review it. But anyways, Thor. In terms of Phase 1 movies that I've seen, this is probably the one that I've seen the least. I think I've only ever seen Thor like maybe 3 times. So, and the last time I saw it was probably like, I don't even know, 5 years ago. I remember it having a lot of good parts and a lot of boring parts. So hopefully we get a good balance here. In order not to drag on the long intro, let's get started with Thor Odinson. So just like an Iron Man, we start this movie in medias res, and we get caught up with the finest females this side of the Mississippi, I swear. Yes, I was gawking and pretty much threw myself at Scarlett Johansson in Iron Man 2, but hey, look, all I can say is the casting's doing their job, bro. Believe it or not, I don't think I'm going to get much flack for saying that Natalie Portman is fine, and same with Kat Dennings. They're fine. They're so fine. But anyways, God gets hit by a car.
But humanity would not face this threat alone.
We are then thrust into Odin's position, going into the backstory of the Frost Giants and the Asgardian War, which, yeah, I guess is pretty cool. In terms of battles, it's so dark, I can barely see what's happening. Also, we are introduced to one of the funniest casts in the whole MCU. I still giggle about this. Sir Anthony Hopkins as Odin. That is so funny to me. Now, look, I like Sir Anthony Hopkins, right? Fantastic actor. He's been in a lot of good stuff, most notably Silence of the Lambs, probably most people know him as. But, man, I don't know why. When I think Odin, and granted, I don't know anything about Norse mythology. Maybe he was a short king. I have no idea. But for some reason, every time I see Odin in the MCU, I'm just thinking like, wow. Little old man. Little old man. He's like the least threatening person you could ever cast as Odin. I'm not saying he does a bad job or anything. I'm just saying it's just kind of funny, you know? We get our first look at Thor, and I gotta say, look, I know I just kind of dogged on the casting of Sir Anthony Hopkins, but man, if there's one thing that Marvel did right, it's the casting in like the main Avengers. I can't think of anyone else who would be better suited for Thor than Chris Hemsworth. And by the way, this is a gorgeous man. Like we're straight guys, right? We like the women, but this is a beautiful man. Look at this guy. This is a picture-perfect face. I mean, I'm not even jealous. Like, really, I like being reminded of my own inadequacies. We also get introduced to quite possibly the most useless trio and just all of movies, not even just the MCU. I cannot remember a single one of these guys' names, and I know you can't either. And they do nothing really that crazy in this movie. And then in the next movie is Thor 2. Thor 2's widely regarded like as the worst movie in the MCU pretty much, and then they get one tap by Hela in Thor 3. So I don't know. This is probably gonna be the last time I ever talk about these guys. That's probably pretty cool. Okay, but we get introduced to the eventual final boss of the movie with the Destroyer. And bro, that is intimidating right there. That thing looks badass. They pretty much just outline my body and then like put armor on it. And that's fine. I wish they'd just credit me next time. But really, it's just so cool. I like how the laser comes out, completely disintegrates everything that it touches. Really, just cool. Look, I don't have to describe it. It was loud and it was cool.
As king of Asgard.
But you're not king! Not yet.
One funny thing I noticed while rewatching this scene is that, like, adult Loki is here, Tom Hiddleston's here, but he has not said a word, and he's just sitting there in the corner just... For the whole scene. For the whole scene, he's just sitting there. He doesn't say a word. And it cuts to him like 4 times. It's the funniest thing so far. Another quick thing I want to point out real quick. Bro, the Dutch angles are crazy in this movie. I'm like 15 minutes into this movie. I've seen about 4 Dutch angles. If you don't know what a Dutch angle is, it's where the camera's just kind of skewed a little bit. Just like to kind of, I don't know, make the scene crazier or seem like, oh, things aren't exactly balanced. They're off kilter. They're tilted. Oh man, it's crazy. Only thing it does is it makes my head hurt. It makes me feel queasy. But with Thor's ascension to the throne being halted due to this attempted robbery, he would like some revenge, and he goes out to take care of the Jotuns.
Good Heimdall.
You're not dressed warmly enough.
Oh, Idris Elba as Heimdall. Oh man, I miss you. I feel like this is one of the most slept on casts in the whole MCU. This character just breathes cool. If I did have like a cool counter, every second this character would be on screen, it would go up like 2 splooshes. I don't know what it would be called, but you know, it'd be cool. This character just breathes cool. I don't know why, and it never really gets a time to shine, you know, and it really sucks because we got these 3 doofuses and then Sif, but I guess Sif is kind of her own character, but like we got these 3 dweebs that are there that just do nothing. Replace all 3 of those with Heimdall. This movie's infinitely better. I swear. But no, hey, we gotta get the useless trio in there. I gotta say, the Bifrost is bad as hell. I mean, that shit is cool. I love the giant mechanism. I love that you have to have a sword to activate it. I love how they can actually fly through a rainbow and just go anywhere. Look, it's just cool.
I have no plans to die today.
I don't know why. That's raw as hell. I mean, I don't know why. Just the way I don't know. That shit was sick.
Run back home, princess.
That was pretty sick. Okay, yeah. He gets goaded into a war by like a schoolyard taunt, but like at least he did it in a cool way. He smacked the guy's head off. I don't actually know if he did, but I mean, it looked like it. From what I saw, and I was like, damn. He really just decapitated a guy with a hammer. How cool is that? This part just makes me laugh. The guy's eyes is so funny. He's actually just like, what the fuck? Look, this movie's not nearly as flashy as the Iron Man ones, right? But this beginning battle... it's pretty cool, right? I mean, we get to see Thor in all his action, throw his hammer, do everything he can. We learned that Thor's kind of a war-hungry asshole, right? He did not care one shit about his teammates. He was bloodthirsty, and to his credit, he didn't take any damage, and he killed a fuck ton of people. And then to top it off, he flies through the mouth, straight up, deep throats the thing to hell and back, and he just lands in a superhero landing. Pretty cool. Look, pretty cool. And then Odin has to come and ruin the fun, talk about diplomacy.
To think you were ready. Father.
This is probably like the most unintentionally funny moment in like all the movies I've seen so far. I don't know why Odin barks at him. Why he just, Father, no. I dogged on the casting of Sir Anthony Hopkins, but I will give him this. He does know how to make a scene dramatic. He does. This whole scene with Thor getting casted out, getting disowned and depowered and everything, it's actually pretty dramatic. I'm just saying, I felt some emotion here, and you know, I think it was mainly due to Sir Anthony Hopkins' performance here, and it was okay. Now, so far the movie isn't that bad, you know? I mean, hey, I liked all the Asgard stuff, you know? It was action-packed, somewhat colorful, aside from Jotunheim, and the drama was there, you know? We're looking into a pretty good movie. Wrong. The human characters come in, and this movie takes a downgrade. Now, the human portion of this movie isn't necessarily bad. It's just kind of like, it's just not as exciting, you know? And I get that. I mean, you cannot, like I've said this a couple times now, can't just be nothing but nuts to butts action, right? You got to have some small times or slow times. You got to have, you got to have a story of some kind. It can't just be nothing but action, but it's not all bad, though. I think the running gag of Natalie Portman hitting Thor with her car a couple times is funny. I like the way she reacts to the second one. She goes, "What?" And I love the idea of this scene. Just a bunch of just country guys, just dudes, just guys being dudes. They find a rock that they can't move. And then everyone gets together to try to move it, and they have a cookout, and like, it's just so funny. This is like the most dude bro thing I can imagine. Hey, Bobby, I heard that there's this hammer that no one can lift. You want to go out and see it? Is it going to benefit me in any way? Listen, there's a cookout and an immovable weapon. You in or not? So you're telling me there's weapons and hot dogs? Shit, I'm in. Look, man, I'm going to reiterate. We are all straight guys. We're all straight guys on the JaceIsJumbo channel. Bye. I don't know if it was ever confirmed or not that he was on the juice while making these movies, but dude, I don't care. If that's not like the picture perfect body goals, I don't know what would be.
You took me for a purpose. What was it? Tell me!
You may have noticed there's one more casting I have not talked about in this movie, and that is Tom Hiddleston as Loki. Now, I'll admit, I have not caught up on the MCU. I watched season 1 of Loki, and I thought it was pretty good. I have not seen season 2. I hear it's pretty good. But I will say, ever since the very beginning, Tom Hiddleston as Loki has just been great. I quite literally have no notes for this character. I also like how, like, in the middle of this super devastating conversation with Loki, he's just like, ooh, shit. I knew this was going to come up one day. Oh, I really don't want to have this conversation. I guess it's time for my Odin sleep. I'm going to do a little bit of a fast forward here. It's not like a bad thing. If anything, this movie is actually better than I remember. It's just that, this stuff I'm skipping is a lot of the human element of stuff. I believe it or not, I'm not super interested in Eric Selvig and Darcy and Jane Foster's astrophysics or whatever they're doing over there, portal science. And then Loki ascends to the throne as Odin goes into Odin sleep. There's this one little funny scene where Thor goes into a pet shop and asks for a horse. I like that. That was funny.
I need a walk.
So after all that boring human stuff, we get to the crash site of Mjolnir. But yeah, Thor fights his way to the hammer. He doesn't have any superpowers. I like actually seeing just a basic fight scene. There's nothing too crazy about it or anything. But yeah, Thor goes and finally gets the hammer, tries to pick it up, and he can't. Because believe it or not, 2 days on Earth, I don't think you've really changed all that much in less than 48 hours. But overall, I like this scene. It's not too flashy or super action-packed, but, it's still pretty good. Oh, by the way, Hawkeye's here. In case you didn't notice, Clint Barton, Hawkeye, he's right there. One of the 6 starting Avengers. He's there. He doesn't do anything at all in this whole movie, but he's right there. So now I try my hardest not to talk about character arcs because, like, there are. If you want to look up like Thor's character arc, you'll probably find a 2-hour video essay about going into it and everything, but. I try to stay away from that because other people have done it way better than me. But I will just say, Thor goes through a good arc in this movie. I mean, obviously, that's the whole point of this movie is to make him go from a arrogant, cocky asshole to, someone who's actually fit to be a king. But I do like how Loki, trying to be manipulative and lie, just to try to say, hey, fuck off. Loki does go straight up to Thor and say, hey, dad's dead. Mom hates you. You can never come home. Good luck. And after all that, Thor still is like, hey, I'm sorry. I really fucked up. And, it's good to see. I'm skipping is Selvig getting Thor out of S.H.I.E.L.D. captivity, as well as the bar scene that they have together, which, it's all charming, and then he's got a real nice, slow, a lovey-dovey type scene with Natalie Portman, which I'm jealous. Both sides of this, I'm jealous. Like, oh my god. Loki's also up to some nefarious ass shit with the Frost Giants. And then we get to like the funniest part of the whole movie.
You would defy the commands of Loki, our king. Break every oath you have taken as warriors and commit treason to bring Thor back.
Yes.
Good.
Oh, Heimdall. Oh, come back, buddy. I need you. Come back, please. So Lady Sif and the trio of danger go down to Earth to see Thor, while Loki freezes Heimdall and sends the Destroyer to go finish off his brother. This is the one beneficial thing that these three bring to the movie. This one gag where he gets bitch slapped by the Destroyer. Yes! Finally, I was waiting for something so fucking cool. I had my doubts. I didn't know if this movie was gonna get a from me, but it did. This moment, this was cool as shit. Obviously, no one actually expected Thor to die, but man, seeing Mjolnir come from fucking 30 miles away to him in like 2 seconds, and then fucking grabbing it, and then the transformation where his like armor kind of just like morphs onto him. Pretty awesome. Having said that, though, the fight with the Destroyer is kind of lame. I'm not gonna lie to you. The Destroyer is such a cool-looking, like, final boss character that, like, full armor. It just looks awesome, and it kind of goes out like a bitch. I'm not gonna lie to you, but I mean, I guess it was okay. I'm being a little too harsh. It was an okay scene. Every single breath that Heimdall takes in this movie, I'm giving a cool point. And by the way, these cool points are like metaphorical, because I guess technically I've given Thor more cool points than Iron Man 1. That's not true, but I don't know. I'm not keeping track, are you? So Loki actually completed his mission. He killed Laufey. He killed the king of the Frost Giants. And, you know, and now I guess his plan is to go destroy all of Jotunheim, which I guess is, I don't know why. Maybe as like revenge for abandoning him as a baby, but he already killed his dad. Loki already killed his dad, so what's the point of killing an entire race of people? I don't know that part. But luckily, our new and improved boy Thor is there to stop this, because he has learned the value of a life by sacrificing his own and getting his powers back. Now, for the final fight scene, I gotta say, as a matchup between a vanguard and a strategist, it went pretty well, but it went exactly as you'd expect. Loki gets clapped. Now, I like the final fight, but, like, come on. Obviously, Thor was going to beat ass. You think the God of Hammers is going to lose to, like, a guy who uses one illusion and that's it? Then Thor does this actually really funny thing where he just sets the hammer on Loki, which is just so funny. I wonder what would have happened if he did that with Thanos. Like, what would have happened? You know, I know he didn't have Mjolnir at the time. It was crushed by Hela, but, like, if he did that, would Thanos just, like, pick it up? Like, because I don't know. That has nothing to do with this movie at all. I'm just curious. And then again, in a really dramatic scene, they love to make this dramatic. I've got to say, it's not a bad thing. Thor actually destroys the Rainbow Bridge to save Jotunheim, because, you know, he values life now, so he doesn't want to destroy all the Frost Giants. And the Rainbow Bridge explodes, and Thor and Loki are caught up in the explosion, where they almost fall to their death until Odin awakens from his Odin sleep to catch him just in time. And then Loki says, nah, this shit's cringe as hell, and just decides to kill himself. And we get a whopping 15 minutes of thinking Loki's dead until, you know, he appears in the post-credit scene of this movie, possessing Selvig. So, you know, wow, I was super emotionally invested in those 14 minutes. And that's pretty much the end of the movie. Thor ends up just kind of rejecting the throne until he's absolutely ready, because, you know, he changed a lot in the past 48 hours. You know, he's a completely different person now. And then Jane and the rest of the human characters all kind of set up with S.H.I.E.L.D. So, it's a nice ending. And then we get to see Heimdall one more time, which, by the way, the GOAT. And like I said, the post-credit scene is Selvig teaming up with S.H.I.E.L.D., trying to make a portal into space, where we know, obviously from the Avengers, he succeeds, and he's actually possessed by the evil Loki. Which I might have missed something in the movie, but I don't think Loki and Selvig ever even met or talked to each other or interacted in any kind of way. Maybe I missed something, but I'm fairly confident. I don't know how the hell Loki ended up possessing Selvig, but yeah, whatever. But that was Thor. Definitely better than Iron Man 2. I gotta say, it was better on the rewatch than I was expecting. Still some slow parts. Granted, not a lot of big flashy action, but a lot of drama. But the drama was palatable. You know, it's not boring drama, but it was good enough. And even on the human side of the movie, you know, obviously they're gonna be a lot less entertaining. But I do think the characters are still charming enough to where I was entertained for the most part. If I was going to give it like a out of 10 rating, I guess I'd give it like a 6.5. You know, so maybe a 7 on a good day. But like, it was good, but it didn't do anything fantastic. You know, it didn't do anything like great. I think this movie is very much carried by the performances. But that's it. I'll probably be doing Captain America next. And then after that, the big one, the Avengers. That's the one I'm super excited for, because I got to tell you, I don't know if I'm going to be making like a counter or something like that, or like a cool counter. But if I do, I'm telling you, it's going off the charts. I'm so excited to talk about the Avengers. But that's going to do it for me. If you like what you saw, hit like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. I'm still trying to get to 1,000 subs. My last couple videos actually got a little bit of traction, and I got a lot of nice words from it. So I do appreciate that from you guys. Like I said, I did Iron Man 1 and 2. If you wanted to go check out those videos, I'm sure you could find them somewhere. I'm not going to tell you if it's here or there, on that side or this side, whatever, but I'm sure you'll find them. But if I don't see you again, I hope you do have a great life. Otherwise, I'll see you later.